Hello, hello. Oh, the camera's a little out of focus. That's okay. It is due for a refocus after being gone for a week. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Hope you are having an excellent Monday. It is good to be home after, what was that, 6 streams from Orlando? Let's see, Tuesday. So we didn't stream Monday from Orlando. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 6 streams from Orlando, most of which were a complete disaster, if I do say so myself. It almost always works out that way. Hello, Tech. We are starting a little bit early tonight because I have to go get my daughter at 6:45 Central, which is an hour and a half or so from now. So please don't let me forget. What is this icon I'm getting in Windows? Hold on a second. Microphone in use by OBS WebSocket. Huh. Cool. But it gave me some other weird icon. I'm okay with it though. Cassandra Redeem put on the hat. That requires me to have a hat. I don't know how the hat got where it is, but I'm going to go get it. One moment. Oi, 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 oi. I don't know what you mean by disaster. The 1/4 Zoom stream was pure artistic vision. Was it? I should probably go back and watch some of these streams and just see what they had. Yeah, I don't know. We had everything go wrong, right? Like we had low bandwidth problems one night. We probably had low bandwidth problems every night. And we had the thing where the phone was zoomed in, like you said, so we were getting 1/4, so you were getting 1/4 of what I intended to show you. And then when I finally figured out where the 1/4 was, then it started to get a little better, but it was still a disaster. Um, yeah, I don't know. Even the Switch stream, which now that's not working. Your camera here is super tilt. Yeah, isn't that fun? I mean, it's kind of fun, isn't it? There, that's less tilted, right? That's how it's probably supposed to be. It's still tilted, and it's gonna fall. I can already tell. I need to look at the tripod. Something. Speedrun stream was so bad. Yes, yes, it was. But sometimes we do what we got to do to keep the streak alive. Um, there is so much to do. Here, I'm just gonna go back to this while I fix things. Um, there's so much to do now that I'm back. That we could do tonight, but I've been awake since 2:30 my time. Um, so I don't want to. I don't want to do any of the like. We could be doing. Well, I got to start with a Magic Band update. My Magic Band is still missing. So if you happen to be in the Magic Kingdom, 2:30 a.m. So I've been up 15 hours, about 15 hours at this point, which is, and I still have a lot more to go today. It's going to be a long day. I am streaming early because I have to pick up my daughter at 6:45. Um, sorry, my brain. See, this is what's happening. My brain is shutting off. But okay, so Magic Band hasn't been found by Disney yet. So if you happen to be walking around the Magic Kingdom in Disney World and see it on the ground, please turn it in so that maybe I get it back. Because I would like to get it back. Second, I did make some serious progress, and we didn't talk a lot about it on stream because I wasn't in the mood to talk about it, or I was in a park and it was too hard to talk about it. But I made some serious progress on direct communication to the Magic Bands while I was down there, and I did somewhat get direct communication, but it's not to the level that I want it to be. I was able to clone another form of direct communication. But what I did learn, and this was a big deal, this thing is something known as an Alexa gadget. And there's documentation specifically about how Alexa gadgets work. And I started reading through it, and I don't think I want to read through it on stream or anything like that. But the point is, now that I know that, And I'm surprised that nobody else had. You think it's gone forever? You want to place a bet? But I don't know where I was going with this. I lost my brain again. There's the music from Spyro, so that's working now. Well, in any case, the Magic Bands, we are much, much closer, and I did document some of the stuff on the wiki, and I don't know, I don't like to wager. We'd have to pick a time frame. How long we think it'll take Disney to find it and let me know. How about this? I will bet one Magic Band. If it's found, you get one Magic Band. If it's not found, you get nothing. I mean, that does sound like what will happen. Tell you what, Cassandra. If they find it within 1 week, I win. And if they don't find it within 1 week, 1 week from today, so March 24th at midnight. If they don't notify me that they found it, I don't have to have it back by then. But if they don't notify that they found it by March 24th at midnight, I will mail you this sticker. Sound fair? If I win, you don't have to do anything. I'm demonstrating my faith in Disney's system. Now what my faith hasn't factored in is whether or not somebody else would have been smart enough to turn it in. That's the real caveat in all of this. It does them, unless there's somebody like me who's hacking Magic Bands, it does them absolutely no good to keep my Magic Band. The Magic Band itself has been disabled. It can't be reassigned to somebody else. There is no reason not to turn that in. Yeah, I mean, other than maybe your kids like throwing it around and enjoying throwing it around. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. It's been 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's get the game going, and I can talk while we get the game going. So yeah, we've got Magic Band progress that needs to be documented and program more, and I need to learn more and all that fun stuff. So that's one thing. The second thing is I took literally hundreds of infrared recordings, all centered around this guy, the infrared Mickey. So now I want to figure out what's a good recording and what's a bad recording and what can we make it do and all that fun stuff with infrared. I feel like that's a bad guy. It was a bad guy. So we got infrared recordings to go through. Let's see what else happened while I was down there. I feel like there was other things. Maybe. Hard to say. But how would you know if they find it? So believe it or not, Disney has a lost and found system. And you can file a report for anything you lose. And if they find it, and it's a surprisingly remarkable system, like how much effort Disney has put into this thing. But like you file a request and you say what it is you lost, where you lost it, roughly what time, all that fun stuff. And like if you're on campus and they find it quick enough, they will literally have it like brought to your hotel room. That kind of thing. If I've heard some instances of them mailing the item home, and like that's all just verbal description. Like my son lost their.
Has been doing a good job protecting you. Make sure to keep him strong by
Oh, he eats butterflies. That's good to know. Um, See, I keep losing my train of thought. This is what happens when I get tired. Or I get silly, and I don't think I'm going to get silly tonight, but it's possible. Oh yeah, so yeah, you file out all this stuff. They fill out forms on their end, and then like in some other instances, like you submit that you lost something, and they'll want you to bring it to, um, they might mail it to you. They might send it to Disney Springs so you can go pick it up, and that's probably the option I will do. I will have my parents go pick it up at Disney Springs. But we'll have to see. But I gave them more information than they could possibly want, including the serial number off the back of my Magic Band, because I had that. Not everybody would, but I know mine because it's part of the programming stuff that I do, which is oddly convenient. What I was really disappointed in myself about, though, is that I was not able to find it myself right away. And it really makes me think Disney needs a Magic Band locator app, because every single one of those Magic Bands is in the park and they're being tracked. And I know they are. And it should be very, very easy to, like, track it down. Wait, can I just keep hitting these things? Am I getting that, or do I have to catch it? Oh, I see how it is. Extra effort gems. They won't call. It'll be an email, I think. I don't remember them ever calling. I've had, well, I haven't had anything lost, personally. But my parents lost a credit card once and got it back, which was cool. And I had another friend who lost, actually, this out of all the ones that I was so happy for them that it worked out, I have some friends, and they happen to be on this trip too, that go down to Florida almost as often as I do. In fact, in terms of length of stay, their stays are longer than mine. So they might actually be beating me in terms of days. But they managed to be grand marshals probably about a year ago now. And that's not, it's not an easy thing to do. You got to get back to work. Oh, then I shouldn't be telling a story. But they managed to be grand marshals one day, and as part of being grand marshals, they got like these free grand marshal ears for everyone in the family, as well as like some stickers and stuff. And they lost them in the park. Like they had them in a bag. They went to the bathroom and they left their bag behind or something. And somebody thankfully turned them in. And Disney actually figured out who they were before they even knew they were gone. And they actually did reach out in that particular instance because they knew who was Grand Marshal that day. They knew how to contact them, which was kind of cool. So yeah, I'll give Disney a lot of credit. Their system is good, far better than most schools' systems for lost and found. I don't know if I'm supposed to be beating those chefs, or I don't know how I would beat them. Can't double jump. Whee! So how was everybody else's day? I had a flight this morning. I haven't talked about the day yet, have I? Went to work. Thankfully, work wasn't all that bad today. I did install a smart board, which was a surprising amount of effort for first day back, but I don't like instant death things. But do. No, I don't use fire enough. Maybe that's my problem. Let's see. I remember my first day at school that had something like a smartboard. Yeah? Was it a projector-based smartboard or a TV-based one? Because we are now at the point where we are taking out our projector-based smartboards and putting in TV ones, which I am very, very thankful about because projectors are the second worst computer peripheral known to man. Only because they have bulbs. Do. My plan isn't working so far. Timing is everything, apparently. 18 years ago, I moved to a new school, and the new school had a projector-based board. Okay. It wasn't a smart board, it was just an active board. Okay, so kind of like just another brand. Yep. It's always fun when the technology seems like magic, right? That's why I love investigating the technology of Disney as much as I do, because that is the magic in my mind. Okay, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Okay, we need him to... Gems. These, like, flame ones? Is that what it is? Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, I skipped the key, didn't I? I did. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna die again. Same spot I died before. How are we feeling about Spyro? I mean, it's a good chatting game. It's chill enough that I can just run around and do stuff. Nobody's really asking me any questions, which I'm okay about. Okay, so it did reset that guy, but I didn't get any... Oh, it's the same guy. He just goes all the way to the top, and then we got the gems. So we already did that. Maybe we gotta go back the other way. Okay, so we haven't tried breathing fire on her yet. Oh, that seems to be effective. Do. What is it? If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. So we're gonna have to tell these cooks. Why do I say projectors are bad? Well, like I said, they're second only to printers. And I say projectors are bad for two reasons. Bulbs die. And to add to the bulbs die comment, bulbs die randomly. So even worse than a toner cartridge that will run out when you use it too much, the bulbs just go pop sometimes and you don't know why. The bulbs are almost more expensive than the projector, which is another reason why I think, again, it's like the ink cartridge thing. It's a little bit, feels like a scam, right? Like, and then on top of all of it, they have focus that you have to worry about. And you don't have to worry about focus with a nice high-def TV. Like, it's just not a requirement. So yeah, I am not a fan. And you have to calibrate, too, because if the projector gets bumped at all, then you have to recalibrate the whole thing. And all it takes is like the air conditioner turning on, and the calibration is effectively lost. So yeah, so lots of downsides to projectors over giant touch HD screens, which is what they use now. And and on top of that, they also work in standalone mode as well. The newer boards, some of the other projectors could work in standalone mode too, which was good. But that was rare. A projector that could do like web browsing was uncommon. Large flat screen. I mean, that's, you can get, and like I'll say it this way too. Like in fact, I've become an advocate for this at my schools in many situations. So just to give you an idea, a smartboard with a projector, the board is normally about $1,000, which is way overpriced in my mind. And then the projector will depend on how quality you get. But if you get a nice, modern projector, it's going to be another grand. So you're looking at about $2,000 for a projector setup, even today. The smartboards with the TVs are now down to $1,500. They used to be more expensive for a 65-inch. Admittedly, the projectors are going to be larger at that price point, but it's still... Oh, that one's a key one, isn't it? And then like a 75-inch is like $2,500, and I want to say like an 85-inch is like $3,500. And don't quote me on those prices, but that's about what I feel like I've paid for them recently. And before you can display anything on that TV, you had to wait for it to boot up. Yep, and then boot up the whole Android OS before you could do anything to it. And it took over 2 minutes. Wow, that's a kind of a bummer. Including if you wanted to connect a computer. See, so most of our boards don't have that problem. That, and they have a standby mode, so they're kind of always on anyway. But hitting buttons. But what's even crazier, so I just mentioned all those price points. We have a number of teachers who basically only project slides. Like, they don't use a touchscreen for whatever reason. And while I like every classroom to be equipped, I have started to become an advocate for if you're not somebody that doesn't need, like if you don't need a touch screen, let's go get an 85-inch, TV for $500 at Thanksgiving. Like, it's kind of crazy how cheap really, really big TVs have gotten. And in fact, I had one class, and this actually worked amazingly well. One of the programming classes, the teacher, is putting code up on the screen. And again, the focus of a projector comes into play. And when we got to talking about their classroom and what we wanted to do to make it better for them, instead of getting a smartboard for them, we got, for the same price, we got four 75-inch HD TVs and a splitter, and we put one on each wall of their classroom. And their classroom's not that big, but we put one on each wall of their classroom so that they could keep the code smaller and keep it on all four walls, so whichever TV you were closest to, you could see it very, very easily. And that has worked out great for the students. And it also makes their room kind of fun because you walk in there and there's four TVs all showing the same stuff. But it works amazingly well for a programming class. So that every kid can see the code that's being typed and they can talk through it and all of that. So, just innovative ways to try to find the right solution, not just buying the same thing for everybody.
Metal armor anyway.
Remember, Spyro, flame won't work on metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
That's what I've been doing. Charging with my horns. Do-do-do. So, I don't know. I like to mix it up. I like trying different technologies, different things. One of the things that I really want to do, so part of what I was doing today, installing smartboards, as I said, I was replacing projector-based systems. And most of these projectors aren't the best quality anyway, that's why they're getting replaced. But I would really, really like to take them and do some projection mapping on one of the hallways and just use it to do some cool artwork at certain times of the year by covering the walls with whatever. I haven't run it by my bosses yet, but if they let me reuse old projectors to do it, I will pay whatever I need to pay to get the graphics cards wired up and all that, just so I can make that happen. They are smart. When you say not smart TVs, do you mean smart brand? Because if you mean that, they are smart brand smartboards. But they only take forever to boot if you shut them off via the switch on the back, which the teachers don't even know that switch exists. Otherwise, they take about half a second to turn on. Because they just live in standby. Screen is off, but the screen will pop right on. If you have to reboot the OS, they do take probably, I don't know. It's probably a minute and a half. It does have an OS to boot, but and I'll add this too. That OS is actually independent of the TV. So technically, I was low on health. No. This is what I get for not paying attention. Technically, you can boot the TV without the computer being booted. Technically. They don't tell you can do that, but you can, if you know what buttons to push. I could have it go straight to HDMI probably in about 2 seconds from cold. Like a normal TV. So when you die, when you kill a guy that you've already beaten, they give you stuff, huh? I feel like I'm supposed to do something with these pots, but I'm gonna guess that it has something to do with the bad guys, so I'll let the bad guys keep their pots. That's a key one. Yep, that all of ours have HDMI stuff, and you can use it independent of the smart. But the smart stuff makes it nice for the teachers, because that means that if they forget their laptop at home, they can still use their board, at least for some basic things.
Hey,
So.
what's on the other side of that river?
Why don't you glide there and find out?
Do. What's on the other side of that river? Why don't you glide there and find out? There's gems over there. I feel like that's a long way to glide. That was the tip. Can't I just walk over there? There's a bridge. No, maybe that's not the same river. Are they talking about a different river? Oh, there's a wall. So I came from that way. Guess we'll find out. Will Spyro make it? He does. Remember when I helped a friend set up their brand new smart TV? I was visiting a friend. They didn't have Wi-Fi set up in their home yet at the time, so it was something that was going to be done the next day. Did it stop the TV from being able to be used? That would be unfortunate. That's another thing that I'm not a big fan of, are devices that require internet. There are more and more of them every day. Oh yeah, I forgot that there's a screen I can go to check to see if I've got everything. Da da da.
You've reached the highest point in Clifftown.
Ooh, I've had that happen with the country thing too.
If I were you, I'd use that whirlwind over there.
I've had Windows machines that for whatever reason ship Canadian instead of Microsoft, or instead of US. And normally it's not a problem, but every now and then some weird things happen. Can we get over there? Not from there. Let's see, where do we want to go now? I don't really have a plan here. A lot of things on top of these houses. What? I hit him. Interesting. And then it wouldn't let go of it, huh? Feels like a firework that I should be able to launch. There's a run mode. Let's try that. One. Trying to figure out how to respond to it though when I get to it. Do I burn it? Do I just run into it? Okay, let's go with just run into it. Nice. An egg. I don't know what an egg is, but we got it. It's the one of one. I feel like we can call this place done for now. I know we didn't get all the gems, but we don't have to be perfect. Yeah, in fact, I had this conversation with somebody, I think it was just yesterday, actually, while I was in Florida. We were talking about how the only smart TV that I will buy, that's not these ones for schools, because the school situation is a little bit different. But for my home, the only ones I buy are Roku-based ones. And the reason being is that Roku uses the same, it's not necessarily identical, but it uses the same firmware, essentially, on all the TVs. And so whenever firmware updates happen, they happen across all the TVs, so you keep getting updates. And as a result, it means that you don't have to worry about, like, your Netflix app suddenly not working or whatnot. Because I have multiple DVD players that we were using for smart TVs at one point in time, like to get access to various things that we, can no longer access Netflix on or can no longer access Amazon on because those DVD players are no longer being patched or updated or whatever. And so the nice part about the Roku stuff is that it keeps updating long afterwards. Really been happy with Roku. So yeah, there's my little TV rant for the moment. Okay, so we were in this world. Clifftown. Dr. Shemp. So that's Clifftown. So we've been there. Just trying to figure out where we theoretically need to go. This guy wants gems. Did we get to 1200 while we were hanging out?
Still waiting for you to find that Hop on, Spyro.
Stay here for now. Yep, you're not wrong. Yeah, I don't like what is it? Built-in obsolescence. And yet I'm an iPhone user. So, what am I saying? But I also am not capable of not breaking an iPhone within 5 years, so or not wanting an upgrade, whatever version of that story you'd prefer. Do, 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 do. But we done Dry Canyon yet? Does not look like it. Let's go there. Kind of like this game. I'm a little concerned about what will happen if and when the Spyro servers go offline. Will I still be able to play Spyro? Will I want to play Spyro? I don't know. Okay. Nifty little burn it box. A lot of hopping noises. Oh, that's how I feed them butterflies. Burn the rabbits. Okay. Things are making more sense now. Not really, but... I watched Moana 2 on the plane today. I gotta admit, it felt like a good story, but the music just wasn't right. They would have been better off reusing the movie from the first, or reusing the music from the first movie in my mind. But that's why you have all your Steam games installed on my server, and we'll have no shame about cracking them if Steam goes away. You know. So, Tech, when you say you have them installed on your server, do you have the, do you just have them installed to be playable on the server, or do you have the... What is that? The Steam thing that allows you to clone games to the library or whatever? Do you do that? Like, do you have your own cache going?
What? Huh? Oh. Thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
Made that guy seem harder than he was. I need more rabbits. Hey, Rainbow, thanks for the welcome back. Hope you're doing well. It's just an HTTP cache, so you wouldn't be able to reinstall it from there. Okay, so they're just all installed. Okay. Guess that makes sense. It's funny, I added ton of storage to my computer towards the end of last year or whatever. I've barely leveraged it for stuff like that. I probably should. I don't know. I feel like I have so much data already, and I know you've got way more than I do, Tech, but hey, Dark Reaper. Because every time I have data, then I feel like I have to have backups of that data, which means then I need at least like double the storage. See, now that's a good idea too. Yep, 3, 2, 1 backups. Yeah, no, I use my everything I do is on a RAID 1 setup for all of my data, and then so it's on 2 different hard drives, and then from there I use Backblaze, which sends all of that data off-site in near real time. So I'm covered. I'm not worried. I haven't lost data I haven't lost data personally since 2003. I learned my lesson. And then some of that data is then even backed up in other ways. Family photos, that type of thing. Some of them have a 4th backup. I did sip. Didn't you see me? I went like this. I'm pretty certain I picked it up, Rainbow. I maybe didn't draw attention to it. Did Dismond's hat go off? Yeah, okay, that worked. Apple's Time Machine used directory hard links and deleted the directory that contained... Ugh. Yeah, see, I gave up on local backups for 2 reasons. One, I was surprised at how often I would have problems with them not running the way I wanted them to run, despite knowing how to set up my own backups. And trying different softwares. I used Backup Buddy for a while, which was a pretty cool tool, and it worked fairly well, but it was just a lot of overhead. And then on top of it, it doesn't get it off site, so if it's a power surge, you're still hosed. And even worse, if it's plugged into your computer and it's a mapped drive, and you get some form of ransomware, it's very likely that the ransomware can hit that device as well. So getting it using Backblaze at, $5 a month as opposed to paying for an external hard drive that can do 20 terabytes of storage, it was kind of a no-brainer, and I have not regretted it since. So Backblaze comes highly recommended if you're looking for a third-party backup tool. And the best part is they allow you to do your own private public keys to encrypt your data. So if you're worried about them having your data, you can do end-to-end encryption on your own stuff, and unless they have gone out of their way to steal that private key from you, which would kind of defeat the whole purpose of having the feature in the first place, it should be just as secure as anything. So, highly, highly recommend them. Not good for servers, though. And I don't know if they have a Linux client yet. I know they have a Mac client. I don't know if they have a Linux client. feel like I went the wrong way somewhere. I need to go up into the air. Let's return home. How many things do I need? Guidebook. 2 dragons. Let's at least get those before we leave. Do. I'll throw in one more reason for backblaze, though, too. The other thing I really, really like about them, and I don't keep any data on laptops anymore, so this doesn't really affect me all that much, but I have a number of clients who do. And you put backblaze on a laptop, and it will back up no matter where you are. So if you're working from a hotel and your laptop gets stolen, you know, everything you did that got backed up, you know, your data will still be there. Because it does pretty dang close to near real-time backups. And I should mention, this is not being sponsored by Backblaze. I just like them that much. Kind of like Dot's Homestyle Pretzels, the Pride of Dakota, North Dakota originals, tasty and delicious. Again, not sponsored, we just like them that much. Despite the fact that they were purchased by Hershey's. In fact, I've got a green bag right here. For what OS, out of curiosity? Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. Cool. You doing like real-time like file system monitoring, so anytime a file changes, you back it up instantly? BTRFS, okay. I don't think I have any BTRFS formatted drives.
Is that you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about? Ever since you were a wee puff of smoke, we've known, You've known... I forget.
We've known you were a dragon. Well, that's a good way to do it. Are you doing versioning too? Like, are you diffing files, that kind of thing? I'm just mentioning all the things that I look for in a backup client. Do. Nice. What's you say sending, so are you sending it locally to like another NFS mount, or are you sending it to like an S3 service or an S3 compatible service like B3 or trying to think what the other big ones are out there these days. Are you using FTP? Get some cheap hosting out there and hope that they don't get mad at you. Amazing how many hosting companies get mad at you for that kind of thing. I understand it because they oversell their storage, but they'll be like, you can have unlimited storage for your website. And then you back up 16 terabytes of data, and they're like, this is not for backing up stuff. This has to be for your website. Prove it's not. Well, I'm pretty sure a Windows directory is not part of your website. Yeah, okay, fine. But it's encrypted. How would you know? And I make it available via a link on this one index.html page that's password protected. Okay, apparently those things can kill me. Need a butterfly. I fly all the way over there. Am I getting back? What do we need still? A dragon. Let's find that first. I do not want to return home. There's a dragon. That seems like a long flight. You're a rabbit, though. There's rabbits right there. Miss. Now I get to go all the way back around. We'll get the rabbits first, though. Do-do-do. Segmenting files and hashing them. That's cool. Why like an entire whole protocol? Then you needed like a server or something on the other side, right? Or did you build it on top of like WebDAV or one of those fun other little HTTP protocols? Like what's the back end? You need a server on the other side? Okay, fair enough. Sounds like a fun project. As much as I enjoy recreating the wheel, I don't know that I'd want to go down that one, but it's cool though. It sounds cool. I appreciate the effort. No! Don't go that way. Gosh. Now I'm lost again. I also have to figure out how to make it easy for a non-tech user to recover from a backup. Backup will likely be set up by a tech user, but tech user gets run over. Oh, that's a good point. Recovery is also a thing. And I don't know what your plans for said recovery utility are, but I will just mention this little tidbit. This is, again, not to oversell Backblaze here, but the one of the other things I really love about Backblaze is I've got, like, I think right now I have close to 7 terabytes backed up with them off of one machine. And in the catastrophic event that I lose all my, like, my whole computer blows up and I lose both drives and, you know, or like a fire happens or something like that, I don't have to get another computer and download all of that data, which would probably, like on most internet connections, that would probably take a good week to get it all downloaded, at least. I can actually just have them ship me a hard drive. They'll ship it to me for the cost of the drive, and I think they can do up to 8 terabytes per drive or something like that at the moment, and it gets higher over time, but every time they basically cycle out old drives. But they'll ship you that drive, and if you ship it back to them within, I think it's either 30 or 60 days, they'll just refund it back to you. So you don't have to pay them anything other than maybe the cost of the shipping the disk. But you can also keep the drive if you want, and then you have a solid copy of your device, or a solid copy of your data, which I've actually done that intentionally because I didn't want to take the time to back up a computer. which that was a whole another story. But so you end up with an external hard copy of all your data. Works out rather slick. I've appreciated it very much. Okay, so somehow can I get up over there somehow? Is there a up ramp? No. A little bit of height there. Not a lot. Not enough that it should make a difference. Maybe we can go from building to building that way? They had... So, I'm going to answer that question two ways. I think the current answer is no. Because there's no, at least to my knowledge, there's no way to get the file IDs to make that work out for them. Oh my gosh. There's got to be something I'm not seeing here, like a way to get up to those taller pillars, maybe. But so they also, on top of, and if you want to do more of like the self-management type stuff, they do have another service that is called B2, which is a lot like Amazon's S3. I think it's B2. It's a lot like Amazon's S3. It has support for S3's protocols. It has all that fun stuff, but it's like 1/10 the cost, and it's not meant for at least I don't think it is. I haven't really tried to use it this way, but it's not really meant for hosting content like S3 can be. But it is meant to be used with backup services if you're trying to back stuff up to it. So like it's a good, like if you need an alternative off-site storage thing compared to S3's pricing, unless you're moving everything to Glacier or whatever, it is significantly less expensive for faster access. And that service, you absolutely can, if I remember correctly, order like a hard drive thing and ship it in, and then they will move that data to your account for you if you have a large amount of data to move. Kind of like Amazon will do that too, but I think for Amazon to do it, you have to have like an insane amount of data. Like they'll send out a semi or something like that if you want to move a whole bunch of stuff to S3. But do. There's gotta be another up. Like maybe I can get from here to there. Nope. I feel like I'm missing something obvious. I jump from here. Is that gonna help me get all the way over there? I don't think it will, but absolutely not. Keep looking. But I had a friend that used to work for a company that I think got bought out. I haven't talked to him since I think that happened, and he switched companies. That much I know for sure. But he worked at a startup called Space Monkey, and I was very excited about their technology. I was one of the Kickstarters early on, and then they got bought out by a security company, I think called Connexus or something like that. I can't remember the name. Space Monkey, though, looked really, really cool to me. They were using essentially BitTorrent. It wasn't BitTorrent, but the BitTorrent protocol stuff. And they would send you essentially a 2 tera. This was a while ago, so hard drives have gotten bigger since this. But they'd send you a 2 terabyte USB drive. 1 terabyte would be accessible to you from your machine. And then the other terabyte was torrented bits of encrypted other user data. And they had some ingenious way of spreading that data around in such a way that you could, like, if you think of like a Dropbox, you could essentially access your data from anywhere, even if your drive was offline, as long as so many other drives were still running. It wasn't as fast as Dropbox, but it did work. It kept your data recoverable, and it kept your data alive, and it could survive. It was pretty dang fault tolerant for what it was. And if they hadn't gotten bought out by the security company that bought them out, I would have loved to have seen where they would have taken the product in the long run. I was always hoping they'd open source the software so that you wouldn't have to use one of their drives, and they never got around to doing that, to my knowledge. What if we jump here? Nope. Somewhere I am missing something. I know it involves getting to that dragon. What if we run and jump? Oh, I wonder if that's... I haven't really tried that. That didn't go according to plan. It's got to be a jump. That's what it all comes down to. It's just got to be a jump. You'd think I've done this enough times that I would now know the path back up there, but I do not. Look at the clock. Okay, we've got time still. Do 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 do. What is that? Looks like a portal, but it looks like I have to get up there first. Let's go this way. I don't know that we've been this way yet. We were over here at one point. How many dragons are there? 1. Okay. And we make that jump. We can make that one. Do. Okay, so that was the exit that we were looking at earlier. That doesn't help us. Let's go get that one. Since we haven't yet. Thought I saw something down there. Hello, Raiders! Welcome on in. Is it Jen? I'll give you a quick shout out here just so I can see what you're doing. What brought you in here today? I'm JJDB210. If you guys don't know who I am a Twitch streamer in my spare time. Family friendly. You guys were playing Fortnite. Nice. How'd it go? Any victory royales? We are currently chilling, playing some Spyro. Just running around with the purple dragon. I don't at the moment. I apologize. Now I gotta see how long ago it was you were last here. Let's see. 10/22/24 was the last time you were here. Following small streamers. You followed me back in 2022. That was a long time. You didn't say much. But welcome on in. How's your streaming going? How's the Fortnite? I'll finish my little spiel too. I'm JJDB210. Hi. Family-friendly streamer who streams every single day as we have for the last 1,700 and... What was it, 86 today? I didn't... What was the number? I didn't... Or maybe it was 1,800 something. 1,827 maybe? Yeah, there we go. 1,827. Yep. 1,827 days in a row. Which, if you're wondering why we had horrible Disney streams earlier this week, that's why. Because for some strange reason, I even stream when I go on family vacation. And that's not as easy as it sounds. But really, the real story behind that whole thing is... Wait, is today March... It is March 17th, which means today is our 5-year anniversary. Or yesterday was. One of the two. You'd think we'd be celebrating that. That's hilarious. I've completely forgotten because I was on. So we started, well, we were streaming before COVID. We streamed every summer before COVID. But we didn't start, we started this run, this streak, if you will, the day we got back from vacation when COVID started. And I've been streaming every day since. Oh, that was so close. I think running and jumping is the right move. I just don't know. And every one of those streams has been, I think, at least 42 minutes. That's kind of my... 40 minutes is kind of my bare minimum threshold. So, it's insane. And I think my average right now is like 2.5 hours. Something like that. Yeah. Thanks, Super Grandma Pat. Hope you're doing well. Hope you got some sleep. Super Grandma Pat took me to the airport this morning at 2:30 my time, so she was up, you know, being super early in the morning. Yeah, I should go look at the data real quick. Either that or give up on this jump. And just see if it was March 17th, 2020, or if it was March 16th. I can't remember. I need sleep? Nah, I'm good. I got plenty of sleep last night. I went to bed so early. It's just a really long day for me, relatively speaking. I'll get to bed at like 9 o'clock and then I'll wake up way too early tomorrow for work, and it'll be good because my inbox has 51 emails in it right now, but I'll answer most of those emails while I'm in a parking lot later tonight. Why can't I make this jump? I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not giving up. I got 15 minutes to figure out this jump. If I learned anything from Moana 2 today, there's always another way. I may not know what that way is, but there's always another way. Posted new holiday lights in the Discord for me. Let me go look. Ooh, do you have St. Patrick's Day lights? I didn't think about putting St. Patrick's Day lights. Oh, and they're Mickey St. Patrick's Day lights. Even better. Can I put it... That's not going to get it on stream. Hold on. Let me Apparently I ruined my whole setup while I was in Florida too, while I was at it. Give me a moment. I'm working on it. That's set to the wrong screen, which is part of the problem. We'll set it to that screen. We'll go back to that. So now if I hit... We'll see what happens when I hit this button. There. Now I'm on the camera still. There. Let's get rid of the Epcot overlay thing. Where's that coming from? Goodbye, Epcot. Oh, that looks good. And does it got animation too? Yeah, it does. Look at that. Man, I put all my lights away. No. Except for my Disney tree. My Disney tree is still up. And I had to laugh. I kind of said it to myself. And actually, I think I said it out loud too. I was looking at the trees at the Magic Kingdom. And I looked over at my daughter and I said, you know, what does that look like to you? And she goes, that looks like our tree at home. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And I was like, and I realized after I looked at them that they have the exact same problems that I have with my tree. Which is to say that the height of the tree is an issue, even for Disney. In terms of getting the lights where they might want to get them, kind of thing. So their lights basically do the exact same thing mine does, and the only reason theirs look better right now is because their trees have leaves. Mine do not. Which is not my fault. What am I... I'm doing something that is making this harder than it needs to be. What's the... Is there like a... Just wondering if there's a timing to that jump that can make it more effective. Wait, do I even need to go up there? I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Spyro needs a wall jump. Keep running the wrong way, too. Not helping either. Okay, I'm not gonna go up there. I don't need to. I just need to go around this corner, up here. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. St. Patrick's Day, I don't know my holidays well enough, even though I'm old and should know this. St. Patrick's Day always the third Monday in March, or is it always the 17th, or is it neither? It's always the 17th? Wait, so if it turns out... Actually, that would be amazingly helpful. So if it turns out that the first day I was streaming 5 years ago on this streak was on March 17th, you're saying that our streamiversary is always... Not our actual streamiversary, but our streakiversary, let's call it that, would always be St. Patrick's Day? It can't be more complicated than that. It has to be a simple jump. That's good to know. I'm going to remember that. And I will check the data here in just a few minutes, just to confirm that it is in fact St. Patrick's Day. Unless I move it. Well, so The only question is whether or not it was March 16th or it was March 17th, and we're gonna go look that up because I never know. Because if yesterday was the 5-year anniversary, that's, I mean, it's fine. It's just not as fun. It's not as easy to remember. Spyro, I don't know what your problem is, but it would be really helpful if you could figure out how to make this jump without needing me to make it. Because I'm apparently really bad at this game. What if I talk to you? What do you do?
Hi, Spyro.
Oh, it's just a dragon. That's what you do. I've really enjoyed the weather I came home to too today. I think it got to like 60 degrees, which, I mean, it's not Florida, but I once used a cheat engine to modify the Y coordinate. It's not a bad way of doing things. I'm pretty sure I'm just doing the jump wrong. Like, there isn't, either I'm mechanically doing it wrong, or there is a better way to attack said jump. That was not the better way to attack said jump, for the record. Just gonna burn all the cactus. Cacti. They're not giving me butterflies, so what good is that? Maybe the bunnies will reappear now that I'm damaged. Probably not. Whee! How the weather goes on Wednesday? They're saying the weather report I heard for Wednesday was I think tomorrow evening it turns to, like, we start getting some rain, and then it's supposed to turn to snow, and those in the South Metro could get 3 to 6 inches. I mean, doesn't have like a hover. I'm wondering if it is a pixel perfect type jump, but I don't know why they wouldn't do that, would they? Or maybe there's an ability I learn later? I have no idea. This is my first time playing Spyro, so I'm liking the chillness of it all. That was not the right button pushed. Ice storms, yeah, nobody really mentioned ice. But I suppose if it's going from rain to snow, it'll pass through ice. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But given how warm it's been here, like, when I left for Florida, we had inches of snow on the ground. There is no snow on the ground anymore. The pond still has ice on it, which was odd because there were kids in shorts today walking on it. Probably not the smartest thing for them to be doing, but I don't know how deep the pond gets, though. I would doubt it's more than 3 feet. I should put a swimsuit on sometime and try it out, but sounds icky. I wonder if that's on file somewhere, like if I can go look it up with the city. How deep is the pond in my backyard? Come on! I must be insane. Assuming that this jump will eventually work. No! Spyro died. Hi, Rich and Cheesy. I feel like I had something to say to you. What would I have had to say to you that I wouldn't have just messaged you earlier today when it was on my mind? I have all sorts of questions about Peru, but that can wait till a Friday. I'm sure whatever this was, it wasn't all that important. Otherwise, I would remember it. You're eating the dots? Good. Eat the dots. Make them go away. There's one thing I've learned. A fresh bag of dots tastes better than an older bag of dots. They're still good. They're better the fresher they are. See, I feel like there's probably a way to get up on one of these upper ones. Then I can jump off of that. But that doesn't reach to there. Home, the return home thing isn't going to help me in any way. There's no air vents. I think I'm just going to give up. Because I am out of ideas. And the video game has broken my will. Nothing there. Except that castle right there, but that's not the same castle. That jump doesn't get me any higher. That building doesn't get me... It gets me a little higher, but it doesn't get me where I need to go. This is where the key is, so this is probably meant to be a tough jump. If it's from, like... Nothing. I'm gonna find out, like, one of these doors magically open or something and they teleport you up. Okay, giving up. Going to the next thing. Can always come back later. Because we are kind of out of time. Not entirely. Before I have to go get my daughter here. Did we get the 1200 we need for the next world at least? Yep. Do. Oh yeah, you can backseat all you want, Ginger. Also, is your nickname anything to do with the River Cruise? Jungle Cruise? Sorry. got something in my eye all of a sudden. But now I've left the room, so I don't know if I want to go back. We have enough. But if you want to tell me for future reference, I will absolutely try to remember for the next time I play, which will probably be tomorrow.
I can't believe how fast you found so much. Hop aboard for the Magic Crafter's world if you're ready.
Do 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 do. Da, da, da. Okay, while we wait for the game to load, because we're probably not going to do anything in that world, I'm going to go look up that data I was talking about. Because data is fun for weird people like me. Dashboard. How is it that I haven't put... If it is the 17th, how is it that I haven't put 2 and 2 together that it is the 17th? Or do I just forget every year? That's very possible. Let's see. That's not going to be monetization or earnings. Viewer discovery? I think it is. So we go back to 2019, just so we can get more data than we want. Why did that not work? 2019, click update. And then we click... And Twitch has been changing all this. Where'd the download button go? Oh, I think it's on this screen. I think I was on the wrong screen. 2019. Click update. Ah, yeah, there's the export data button. Okay, so we're in a new world. Let's go get at least... Well, that's a fun way to start a new world. Just put something you can't walk in. Export data. Opening data. Seriously? And we're just going to hide these columns because nobody needs to know that information. View, zoom. Let's go to 200% just to make it more readable. And then we'll put it on this screen because that's the screen that it's set up for at the moment. And let's just see what happens. So if we go to this screen for a moment and we scroll, so here's 2019 and summer of 2019 is right here. So starting in June. So that was when we started doing Minecraft. We didn't, like, I was probably in Disney at this week, which is why I wasn't streaming that week. And then, but otherwise we streamed pretty much every day in the summer where it made sense to stream. Wasn't a perfect streak back then though. But then we had a few odds and ends and random days in December. It looks like, I don't know what, I didn't really have a stream schedule back then. And then look at that. It was March 17th. So we started on March 17th. So yeah, happy 5-year anniversary, everybody. So you go straight back down the path from the return home. You jump up to the ledge where you rescued the last dragon, glide to the center opening, go through, and jump off the left side, and you will land on the ledge. Okay. So you got to come at it from kind of the other side is what you're saying. I just didn't see that. So, okay. Hopefully that's saved. You guys didn't see me just exit the game. I just want to look at this data here. So we're just going to delete all the rows that came before this. Okay. So there's March 17th, 2020. We scroll down. We should be... Twitch would give me all the days anyway. So this says 1828, which would be today, and it doesn't have the data from today. You subtract 1, making it 1827, because we have a header row. How long do I stream usually? We tend to hit about the 2-hour mark, is what I tend to shoot for. But I have a rule that family comes first. So like I have to go pick up my daughter. Like I try to keep the schedule as consistent as possible, but yeah, so the last time we did this, we figured out that I stream 1/12 of my life on average, which means I am literally streaming 1 month a year of actual time, which is really a messed up way to think about it. Like 1 month a year, I am in front of this computer with you. It is messed up in the head. We are going to sort by minutes streamed, smallest to largest. So I want to see if the shortest still makes sense. So yeah, our shortest stream in that entire sequence was on July 6th, 2020. And that is arguably, for whatever that's worth, that 44-minute stream, that was arguably before we even considered the streak to be a streak. Although it was a streak. And I know exactly what stream this was. This was a stream from a cabin for Super Mario RPG. I remember some of these streams I remember very, very well, but that one in particular was from a cabin. One of these, actually no, that might be the graduation stream, although that would have been really late. But I think this 47-minute one is the graduation stream based on the date. And then one of these, man, our Disney streams haven't even been... I would have thought like one of the streams from the other night. Oh yeah, right here. we had a few streams from Disney last week. Yesterday, 2 days. So we had 2 top 10 streams in terms of shortest. And if we go to the other end of the spectrum, we had the 1,000-minute stream for episode 1,000. So that was a 20-hour stream. That was a fun stream. That was a good day. December 11th. That was our 1,000th in a row episode. And then the next longest was 652 minutes. I think we were coding that night. We did code in game till all hours of the morning. And I have no idea what these other ones are offhand. Probably just Minecraft sessions that went really long. But if we sum up all the minutes, not counting tonight, and we divide that by whatever the magic number is. 1826. It would be 1827, but we don't have the data for today yet. 1826. 138 minutes on average. So that's 18 more minutes than 2 hours. So almost a 2.5 hour average once you throw everything in here. Although that's, again, not entirely fair because I wonder where the median is. So the median would be 900, give or take. So episode 900, I'm not really doing the math here, but I just want to see if that's less or more than 2 hours. Oh yeah, look at that. It's going to be more, slightly more. So that's good. That makes me happy too. So I can legitimately say we average over 2 hours a stream normally. Not by much though. So I'm just curious. I want to get into streaming once my wife and I have a baby, so I was just curious. So I'll say it this way, because I got to wrap up here really quickly. If you're going to get into streaming, have a schedule. Be very mindful if you're going to try to do every day. Every day is a different type of commitment, and it's not needed. And it doesn't guarantee success. schedule definitely helps with success, but every day is not necessary in any way, shape, or form. And if you're doing it just to build a small community, just have a regular schedule will help a ton. And then play a role in the community too. And if you're like me and you like to be family friendly and stuff like that, play with your kids. This whole series started because I wanted to play Minecraft with my 2 kids. And we did that for months during COVID before they outgrew their dad. And their dad kept playing Minecraft, but they went and, started doing other things like going back to activities like my daughter is at right now, which I got to go pick her up from. So with that, I appreciate you all. I'm just gonna skip the raid. With that, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, hopefully. And until next trip, see ya.